How's everybody doing tonight? I saw the thumbnail. Let's see. Trying to start making this Tuesday at 10 my normal time, but we'll see. We will see. Hopefully everybody's having a good night. You see it. We're about to slide on into it and people fall in, they fall in. Let's see. I see Helmet in the house. Wayne Wallace from Mexico. I'm thinking about doing a little something in Mexico. Come down there and visit, travel a little bit. Midwest, it was nice today, but it's going to start getting cold in the Midwest. So start making it happen. So you know how we do it. If you got any cybersecurity questions or tech questions, just drop them in the box. I just left B2B's channel. Shout out to him. So I've been moving around in these cyber streets. So for some reason I am tired tonight, but let's go ahead and get it. Talk about my man Tope Awotona. I think I said that right. So a man from Calendly. I think Helmet or JM told me to talk about him. I can't remember. But I thought he was a cool guy. It was a nice story. So let's check him on out and adding to the list. So let's get going. Like I said, I'm gonna make it. What's up, Tech Xavier? I see you studying a lot. I'm on my AWS grind, so I'm there with you. I need to do a stream on that WGU and some other universities I like, man. Shout out to you. I see you doing good work out there on your grind, putting out those videos. Shout out to Casual Economist joining us today. Great to my man from Calendly. I would never really think you could to really do a calendar enterprise program till I checked it out. So it's definitely pretty interesting. Um, but once again, let's get at it. Once again, if you got any tech questions or cybersecurity questions, keep doing your thing. I appreciate it. If we got any tech questions or cybersecurity questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them. But let's check out my man Tope Awotona. My man is the founder of Calendly. So let's read a little bit about him. Tope Awotona is the founder and CEO of Calendly, a monitoring and scheduling platform for high performance teams, individuals, and accelerating business forward. He founded in 2013, so I mean that's almost 10 years ago. So he's not a flash in the pan. With the vision of simplifying scheduling for everyone without back and forth emails, Tope's strategic direction, the platform has grown and evolved in over 10 million monthly users. That is huge. That is huge. So obviously it's caught on and rolling, but prior to that, he spent the majority of his career in enterprise software sales. Shout out to Black Heights. We always talk about software sales. What's up, Bill? Uh, Worked for companies such as IBM, Perspective Software, and Dell Technologies. In addition to launching a series of startups, he grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, and came to the United States in 1996. Tope holds a degree in, once again, shout out to Black Heights, Management Information Systems from the University of Georgia. Shout out to B2B, that Atlanta Life. He's a recipient of 2021 Atlanta's Business Chronicle Most Admired CEO Award and 2019 comparably the Best CEO Award. So obviously he putting in work and making things happen. So I thought we'd touch on him today because he had a few failures on the way. So I always tell people don't give up. And as you fail, especially in business, you're learning, right? And you're getting better and better. So shout out for him and staying on the grind before he finally made it over the top. That's my man. His net worth is 1.4 billion. They got him in the 11 one, well, which is this month. Uh, he's the 1,975th richest person in the world today with the 1.4 billion. So he's doing it big. That came out of Forbes with the F up there. So we see him putting in work. He's the founder once again of Calendly. He worked at EMC also. He founded Cali out of frustration with back and forth emails. He bootstrapped it 4 years before taking a 350 million investment in 2021. Wow, that's last year, and he valued the company at 3 billion. Once again, he was born in like Lagos, Nigeria. He migrated here as a teenager. Before he founded Calendly, he had started a few other businesses, including one that sold projectors and another one that sold garden tools. And we'll talk about that. But for those first companies flopped, right? But as they flopped, you gain an experience. He's working on his technology game. Of course, he was in enterprise sales, so he's making those contacts so you can do those Series A's and Series B's type investment to grow your company, right? So when you're working with IBM, Dell, and those, I think it was Perception, those are big companies in the software game. So you're learning and once again meeting those contacts. So, one of the startups he failed. The first failed startup was called STT Media. It was a dating website. Tope read in a New York Times article about the founders of the startup called Plenty of Fish, who was making $10 million a year working 10 hours a week. So that inspired Tope to do a dating website. So he looked up the website and instantly knew he could build something better. STT Media was born, which stood for single to taken, but it never launched. And Tope quickly realized that he did not quite have the means or the skills to do it as well as he wanted to, right? So a lot of times you get in there, you have a good idea, but finding developers and money and technology to really ramp that up is tough. I'm working with helping some guys in a young startup do some stuff from a cybersecurity perspective. This young brother, he's doing big things. So, but to get that series money, get out there, get clients. The cool thing, once again, he had the MIS degree and he was in enterprise software sales. So that makes you, more adequate to selling products and stuff. Got to cut your teeth somewhere. Facts, Hellman. You got to learn somehow, man. Kevin Hart, you're going to learn today, right? Well, like you said, you got to cut your teeth somewhere and you got to learn, right? So let's see what it was number two. He had another company that didn't quite kick off. Second failed startup, and we talked about that in his bio. He sold projectorspot.com. So Tope's second startup began when a business broker, long story short, convinced Tope to build a website around selling projectors. Projectorspot.com was born. It was an e-commerce site selling, you guessed it, projectors. I would never think about selling projectors. According to Tope, he did not sell many, and the margins were terrible. I did not know anything about projectors, and honestly, I did not want to know about them. Right, so he thought, I guess, it was a niche website. He thought it would take off. It just quite didn't. So once again, it was another failed e-commerce startup. Once again, he's in the game. He's grinding. He's making contacts. Shout out to Helmet. He cutting his teeth in the game still, right? But a lot of times I did two companies that failed. It just wore me out. So I had a hardware company building PCs and doing consulting of PCs. Then I did a small consulting startup that just never really caught up and just making money and dealing with the employees, inventory, and payrolls rough. So once again, he started projectorspots.com and didn't go well. But once again, like Helmichelli said, he was cutting his teeth into the game. Third failed startup was Green Eggs. His third startup was when he pivoted from projectors to grills and started yardsteals.com. He had a bit more success selling knockoff Big Green Eggs, but quickly realized he had the exact same problem. He was pulling in more profits, but he still was not passionate or knowledgeable about what he was selling. In tough words, once again, I did not know anything about grills, and I did not want to. I lived in an apartment. I never even grilled, right? So once again, it was it seemed like he was making profits, just wasn't a lot of profits. He was getting better at it. It seemed like each failed startup, he got a little better. And Green Eggs, those grills are hot. but of course, once again, it was the knockoff, right? So he was getting there, getting his e-commerce skills up, getting better at the game, probably getting his team built up, people he trusted in was getting into the game. But once again, I wanted to show that because a lot of times we just really talk about success, right? We don't talk about the grinding part or the 10 years or the failures, right? This is a long game, and a lot of times it takes you a while to be successful. And I think a lot of people give up, right? Probably when they're about to be successful. So that's one reason I really wanted to bring that up and talk about some of his startup issues, and especially in Silicon Valley, it's not uncommon to fail a couple times before you get with the big company and become an employee and get those stock options. A lot of times it doesn't come on with the first company you go with. So he initially had the idea of Calendly in 2012, but took a cautionary approach, spending a lot more time researching the market. He went into customer discovery without attachment to a specific outcome. He let the process guide him and determine if there was an opening in the market. He probably spent 2 to 6 months on customer discovery, validation, and determining the opportunity, right? So now, once again, shout out to Helmet. He cut his teeth, so he did a little more market research, seeing if there was a market for it, seeing if there was an appetite for it, right? For me though, and I guess I was a little short sighted, and I know it's hot. Everybody had counted. Just thinking it off the top of my head, I wouldn't think that would be a big enough market. But obviously, I'm mistaken if he's worth $1.4 billion, right? Just off the top of my head, I wouldn't think that would be a big enough market. Yep, you got you. Yep, you definitely got to go better when you learn from failure. Yep, facts, facts. So let's see. Tuck was not naive about what he was needed to take this ideal and turn it into real product, developing a working product, acquiring users, monetizing those users, and employing a team of engineer, marketing, customers, success agent. He initially hired a company based out of Europe called Railsware to build an MVP, which is a minimum value product, something small as like a proof of concept that are known for excellent work and are very well respected in the community of Rails engineer. Rails is a web app. Rails actually is a development platform, super quick. I did a little Rails. I used to do Java, so Rails was kind of like the natural next step. Let me look up Rails and see if that was the Rails he was talking about. It seems like it though, because Rails engineer. A lot of people ever heard of Rails development program. I should have did a little more research myself, but I think he's talking about. Oh, did I close the Ruby on Rails? It was hot for a super second. It's still a little bit out there. Rails, compressed complexity of modern app. Ruby on Rails scales. You're in a good company. Once again, it's still a lot of Rails is a full stack environment. So I think that's the Rails he's talking about for his app, which I've never seen a big web app done on Rails, to be honest. I've seen a few smaller apps done on Rails, but let's keep reading. Like I said, Tope is making progress. He went and got top-notch teams to build his minimum value product. Got some Rails engineers to get it up and running so you can have a nice proof of concept. So here, when you talk about capital and getting money, I thought this was interesting. You might not have the same access to capital that somebody with similar qualifications has. So you have to work harder to make sure your business model is solid and you can access resources to hire the right people. When you're forced to work harder, your chances of being successful dramatically increases. Tope is an example of that. A lot of companies have raised a ton more money than we have and do not have the same success to show for it. While you are hoping and working towards things changing, use it as an asset for motivation. you would chart a different course and become more prosperous in the process. So I like that you become more prosperous in the process. I'm a big believer in the process, right? You need to do things, get your skills built up, get your qualifications built up. But all of that's a process, right? To get to where you need to be and get to the money. So let's keep going. Once again, it's gonna be short. So let's look at the Calendly page. Hmm. So here's the Calendly page. I was just looking at it. The genius way to work better. Calendly makes it easier to work smarter than working solo, meeting in sessions. So over there, you got your Zoom. Make that a little bigger. Got your Zoom, in-person meetings, right? Your event, how long you want it to be. A lot of people have them. Shout out to Women in Linux. You can set an appointment, save times with your personalized booking links. Time is a precious commodity. Calendly is a courageous way to book meetings and other appointments because scheduling with just a few clicks makes the most time of everyone, right? Because in the old days, you called the administrative assistant, set up a meeting, they synced it up. Now, right, you can just say your meeting Calendly, you get it. You open on Calendly what times you are open for a meeting. Bam, right there. Got my man Zach Fair, meet with him, right? I'm sure a lot of people are doing that. How you doing, Adrian Nash? Glad you can join us. So once again, Calendly, he's there. So book up efficiency when the invitees select the meeting slots for your schedule. They only see the times you are available. Once again, you're not wasting time. And only the length and type of meeting you want to have. Your schedule fills up efficiently and everyone avoids excessive email exchanges, right? Because that was a big pain point for him when you were setting up meetings. What's up, Alonzo Hall, the All-Star Advisor? Salute. Glad you can join us. So for Calendly, like I said, when I first thought of it individually, I wouldn't think that would be big enough to be an enterprise project. But once again, the way he set it up, you see over here, let's chat. You give them how long, what times and how long the meetings are available, right? So you free yourself up. Then two is people don't realize is I'm old in the 80s. You had a ton of administrative assistants doing this stuff, right? So you just cut that whole meeting time out, right? That was huge. They would set up meetings, set up time, schedule them out. This does all that for you. So you cut that whole resources out, right? So that was another interesting thing about it, right? You could create a workflow with the whole process, right? Uh Work like you have a personal assistant, right? So you just automated that all out because Calendly automates administrative tasks like sending reminder emails, follow up. You can focus the work that builds your business and bring customers back for more, right? Send emails to invitee, the host, send text to host, right? So all that was partial FTE, at least a half FTE with all that scheduling now, right? So you just took that out the game. So that's why my man's worth $1.4 billion with the big B, right? Because that's a pain point. Part of that is billing, collecting payments. Stripe and PayPal integration enable you to submit payments to your client. So now we went from scheduling workflow. Now we send in payments, we send in bills, right? So now that collects all of it. Because one big thing is facts of a hashtag automation, right? So little things like that, people don't realize you taking people, you know, out your company, out your flow, and saving your time, right? And a lot of people are in a gig economy anyway. So if you're in a gig economy, right, you're trying to save every dollar. You want it to be automated, all right? So I'm sure they got a fee version. And I'm sure you get to a point where it's probably super cheap. Scheduling at scale, retain more clients, happy clients or long-term clients. With Calendly, prospects can schedule with you instantly so no one slips through the cracks. Everything about your interaction is personal, professional, and respectful, right? So now they can schedule it. I'm sure like they had integration with Zoom. You probably can take your meeting minutes, notes in there, put your time in there, and then you can bill, right? So that's part of that whole funnel process for your client, right? How do you get a client, keep a client, and hold a client, right? So workflow, websites embedded, customized. So let's see what it says about it. Let me start and stop this to make sure uh, make sure I got the sound on. I'll be struggle streaming over here. So let's hear the sound, see what we got.
The future of work is changing, but just because scheduling is inescapable doesn't mean it has to be inconvenient. There's a genius way to work better. Calendly brings schedules and people together, making finding a time effortless. Get set up instantly, connecting up to 6 calendars to automatically check available times. Create simple rules around your availability so your calendar books up the way you want without lifting a finger. Set buffer times, prevent last-minute bookings, and create customized events. Each event is fully flexible, no matter the type, allowing you to set preferences that grow with your team. When it's time to schedule the meeting, just share your link wherever your business lives, like email, your website, social media, or Slack. It integrates with your most common business apps, so as soon as an invitee selects a time, everything is automatically updated. Calendly helps you make the most out of every touch point, using intuitive workflows to continually build better relationships. Your team will feel empowered to focus on the things that really matter, because the future of work is not just about saving time, but connecting for success. Calendly, easy meetings ahead. Get started with your free trial today.
So that was a cool thing. So to be honest, I'm learning a lot. Because I know a lot of people. Shout out to Women in Linux. They be like hitting them up on Calendly. I've never done that before. And I've never set it up. Right? I'm more of a corporate guy. You know, we got our teams. We do a little Zoom. Teams got everything built into it, right? From a corporate level. Because I'm usually on that big enterprise. But this, once again, Calendly seems clear, clean, and concise and crisp. So before we continue, let's say 12. That's my man Tope Awotona. He's the founder and CEO of Calendly. Just want to go check him out a little bit today. Like I said, I've heard of Calendly. Everybody talks about it. I've just never done it or set up a meeting. Happy Tuesday, hope I'm now. You never too late, Calvin. Always good. So Tope Awotona, did Calendly. Just want to highlight my man worth $1.4 billion. And I probably play that little short video again. When you just talk about calendars as a domain, I thought it was small, but like you said, he connected it with a lot of third-party APIs. He's got a workflow. He's got billing in there, right? So now you can control all of that as a whole process. And I'm sure he's going to keep adding on there, and make it a full suite of products, right? But obviously it's big enough as a vertical because he's worth $1.4 billion. So once again, there's a lot of things that's out there to make money. I'm just so traditional, old school. You send the AA a meeting, they schedule it, but this right here just took that whole part out, right? So like Hillman said, /tag automation. That's what we're talking about. That's one of my things. I'm gonna do a series. So administrative assistants gone, right? Cashiers gone. So what's replacing them? Right. Knowing I need to be on a diet, I went and got McDonald's. They got the big kiosk, right? You order your food, put your little credit card in there, hit the button. So you don't even go to cashier, right? So you go to cashier because I always pay in cash because I don't trust kiosks. So they got one little cashier. There used to be like 6 cashiers like 10 years ago, right? So they took that whole cashier game out there, right? So I wouldn't even call them cashiers. They the money taker, right? Because you did most of the work all in the kiosk. Right, and pretty soon is they're going to discontinue cash in the next 10 years. They started whittling down cash, so Calendly is just part of that automation that's going to get rid of the AA, get the cashier. So this is RIP to the cashier, right? So Once again, Tope Awotona worth 1.4 billion. He started Calendly, I think, in 2012, about 10 years ago. He came from Nigeria as a teenager, just hitting the hard part. What I like too is they talked about some of his, I wouldn't even call it failures, his learning opportunities. He did SST, which was a dating site, failed. He sold projectors as e-commerce, failed, right? But he's getting experience. He's getting his team up. He's in MIS as a major. Shout out to Black Eye. So and he's in corporate sales, so he's familiar with that, right? So uh, then he did a green eggs, which is a phenomenal grill. If he barbecued, he did a knockoff of that. It didn't go well. Then he came up with Calendly. We just saw the kickoff video for that, right? So we just looked at the software. It's a genius way to work better, right? Calendly makes it easier to work smarter when you're working solo. Meeting sessions and appointments become a more efficient way to handle it, right? Once again, we're taking the AA out the box. Unless you're a CEO or CFO, you got to type your own letters and your own things, right? So let's see. Tell them we need a self-hosted PM solution for families and business. Facts, man. That could be it, Calvin, man. That could be your Calendly, man. What's the calendar? Yeah, I am struggling a little with that. Let's see. Man, I wait 20, 30 minutes in line now because they only have one. They're terrible. Yeah, but they saving a lot of money on that, Calvin, and you're not going anywhere like me. I love a good Big Mac, but my ass got to go on a diet in 2023, though. PBO got to get in a little better shape, but that's the death of the cashier, right? So I usually go in. If you pay with a credit card, or a debit card, which I definitely wouldn't do, right? It's all transaction. You wouldn't need a cashier. I carry cash and I'm not putting my credit card in a public kiosk. I will not do that. So once again, Cali booking link, save time with your personalized booking. Really, that's a virtual assistant, right? Really is that. Time is a precious commodity. Calendly is a courteous way to book meetings and other appointments because scheduling is just a few clicks away. That was smooth. Like I said, getting rid of the AA so we can see it come to fruition. Automatic notifications and follow-ups works like a personal assistant. Calendly automates administrative tasks like sending reminder emails, follow-ups. You can focus on work that builds your business and brings your customers back for more. So as they schedule it, right, it's going to automatically remind them and you, right? So you can get an email too to make sure you're on point, right? So that's just a virtual assistant. Let's see what my man Calvin. Green Egg is a huge moneymaker following the 500 lowest thing. Yeah, they're facts. He did a knockoff, though. He did the knockoff, Cal. So, now facts. My son actually got one. He's a phenomenal griller. I suck. Today at the grocery store, the self-checkout had 15 wait for a space. Just facts. So, but that's the future, man. That's the future. But shout out to Whole Foods and Amazon. Amazon's got the shelf checkout where when you put it in your backpack, it automatically debits and credits your credit card. That's really the future. I think that's coming in the next 2 years where you won't have to scan it when you put it in your bag. They got facial recognition and product recognition where it's going to scan. If you put it back on there, it'll credit your credit card. So I really think that's the future. I think this is just the interim step to get there. Well, let's get back to Calendly. Then they collect payments, erasing billing hassles. Stripe and PayPal integration enable your clients to submit payments as soon as they schedule a meeting. You can get paid on time every time without dealing or billing or invoice, right? So if you want to do which a lot of people do, shout out to women in Linux. I wonder if they got the the collect payment when you schedule a TAM. Bing, you get a bill, right? It debits your credit card as soon as you set that up. Scheduling at scale. Happy clients, like we talked about, learn long-time Calendly. Prospects can schedule with you instantly, so no one slips through the cracks. Every time your interaction is personal, professional, respectful at the time. Once again, just a virtual assistant, right? That's the cool part of them. Where's my where's my plate of grilled meat? I'm going vegan, I think, in 2023. Nah, I'm joking. Uh so yeah, so let's that's the sweet spot for Cali. I'm sure there's a lot of knockoffs of Calendly and everybody's trying to get in there, but that's the sweet spot. That's how you can make money. Then two is you could take part of the when they use the payment module with Stripe and PayPal, you know, you can get you 1% on there. If you got 1%, you got a lot of customers, right? That adds up pretty quick. There's some other features of Calendly, like routing forms. You can embed Calendly into a scheduling stream, team scheduling, calendar connections, of course, analytics, discover activities, trends of scheduling insights to hit your goal, and meeting polls, let your invitees vote on preferred times for scheduling. Then over here, you get sales. They got recruiting modules, revenue operations, customer success, information technologies, right? So explore how thought leaders use industries that use Calendly. Right, the integrations at the bottom, seamless integrations to connections to your favorite calendars, tools, and apps. Right, so I'm sure once again you can connect it to other popular forms. Right, so let's look at my favorite part. The just a quick look at the security part of that. Make this a little bigger. We're not gonna even. It's gonna hit the high points. They're definitely a big company, so security was, I thought, pretty good. That's what I would expect. So, Calendly service security. So, before hiring, all employees and contractors undergo a background check in accordance with applicable laws. Background check reviews such as criminal and financial background includes credit checks and for senior finance positions. Because if you're taking billing information, right, you got to make sure you do background check on your employees. The cloud services, Calendly Cloud Services is SaaS, software as a service, built and maintained by Calendly. It's true cloud native. It's fully designed and assembled for cloud and provides you with those benefits. You get subscription, reduced setup time, multi-tenant, multi-availability zone. This one that kind of caught me off guard a little bit with the proliferation of cloud computing and cloud services. Calendly has adopted a cutting edge, fully adopted cloud native service. As part of this adoption, they partnered with Google GCP. They're one of the first, I guess I would call them decent sized, large that I that runs on GCP. I don't know a lot of companies. I hear a lot of companies talking about running on GCP, but they actually put it in their marketing material and actually in their security part. Utilizes an IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, as part of Google platform offering. It's a cloud compute services hosted and managed by Google, which runs on the same infrastructure as all their other projects, Search, Gmail, and YouTube. Oh, wow. I guess I didn't know YouTube runs on Google Cloud. I'm sorry, yeah, Google Cloud. By leveraging that, they're able to provide our customers with reliable security and scalable. Right? So, approach to security, built, managed, and monitored update. Security is top priority. Let's hit a couple security things: data classification, client endpoint, identity and access, application level security, and network. All right, so infrastructure and physical security, security of a data center, data security, network security. They got virtual private networks, DDoS attacks, man in the middle. So all this is pretty standard stuff. Secure personnel practices, software development lifecycle, right? You want to make sure when you program it up front is secured. They look at OWASP, which is OWASP top 10, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, cross-site forgery, top 10 web app attacks. They said they got that covered, right? So once again, just hitting the high points. Supply chain. We continuously scan libraries for new CVEs, common vulnerability exposures, Any issues discovered are ranked based upon risk, prioritize addressing them, validating internally, externally for resolution. Once deployed, existing systems are decommissioned and replaced with up-to-date systems, right? So they're looking for vulnerabilities, checking them, ranking them. That's what you should do as that type of a company. Most people know I do federal security compliance, so that's what we look for. You have a security program. You're not one-off in it. Got a DR site, disaster recovery and business continuity. Compliance, they got SOC 2, AS 3000, all it can represent. You can get an NDA so I could look at it if I wanted to. So that's it. Just wanted to touch on it, right? They're secure. We like it. So shout out to Calendly. Let's see what else I had in there. This is a quick CNBC where my man's talking. So let's look at that real quick. I'm gonna be breaking in this little so I don't get a copyright strike. So let's see.
CRM software doesn't have to be so complicated. With Monday CRM, setup is quick and easy, so there's no need.
YouTube had supposedly.
Let's look at this before we think. Yeah, I don't think they got an IPO yet. You're right. It's a calendar, internet calendaring system with a lot more things into it, JM. If you look at a lot of people say go to Calendly and set up an appointment. He actually founded that, and he's worth $1.4 billion. I'm probably going to show the Calendly intro again in a minute where they talk about the service. But basically, it's an internet calendar where you can build, set up schedules. It'll remind you and them. So basically, you taking the AA out the loop, JM. So that's really what it's about. Yeah, I saw that valuation $3 billion. Now an IPO will be interesting in gaining a wider use. That's pretty pricey, though. You would think $3 billion already. We need to look at the prices a little bit too on that. When the government's looking to pay, to use these apps, do they get access to the source code and make sure they're secure before they decide to use it? Yeah. Well, usually what they do is we would ask for security documentation. A lot of times, if it's a big major company, you wouldn't ask for the source code. If it's a minor source code, what you would do, you would actually for them to put it in trust. So if they went out of business, you could get to it, right? So most large companies, part of your review is checking out their financials to make sure they're going to be in business, and they usually before the government use it, usually they got to be in a certain scale for them to use it. But we would do a security review. A lot of times is I don't look at people's code, but they had the OWASP top 10. So I would ask for a vulnerability scan of their servers and see if I could look at their vulnerabilities, JM, which they usually let you do because I have to sign an NDA. Just looking at it, we would look at what cloud vendor they're in. GCP has actually a lot of their data center is FedRAMP high, which means they're already been reviewed by PricewaterhouseCoopers, Booz Allen already view it. So that's what they would look at, JM, if they would actually use it for a large government site. So it's definitely a good example of what you can do with scale. Oh, facts. So let's see what my man said a little bit about in
solved the online video problem until TikTok came around. Amazon had solved e-commerce before Shopify. So what about the process of finding time on the calendar to have that important call? John Fort brings us up close with a CEO who is working that problem with a $3 billion startup, not a company that
I'm really confused how you could charge, say, $3 billion companies a startup, but those numbers. And two is he's been in the game for 10 years, though, right? So
I knew about, but apparently one you know and use.
Yes, indeed, Tyler. Now, you might have heard about Calendly last week when a Twitter rant bashing the scheduling startup went viral when users defended it. Not only do I happen to use Calendly, I caught up with founder and CEO Tope Awotona. As you might expect, he's lived life a bit ahead of schedule. He grew up in Nigeria, where he went to high school 2 years early and had to learn to socialize when he didn't completely fit in.
My mom was a really strict person, and so like I would, as soon as school was over, I went home and I stayed home and I played in the neighborhood right, with my neighborhood kids. But I didn't, I wasn't allowed to go to parties with my school friends. I think what it just gave me is just I had to rely on I had to rely on charisma, maybe a little bit of a sense of humor to.
Well, we always talk about them soft skills, right? You gotta have charisma in it. So it's cool. Like you said, it came from Nigeria, got here, obviously scaling up. We talked about the three failures he had, you know, before he got to Calendly, right? So we see him putting in work. So
Become friends with two people who are 2 years older than me
fair use.
and not get bullied because it would have been easy to do that.
Yeah, 12, 13, you can't go to high school parties. Well, after Tope graduated, the family moved to the U.S., Atlanta. That's where Calendly is now based. But over the last couple of years, it's also become a remote-first company. And you might think that's great because employees get to live in more convenient, inexpensive places. But get ready to have your mind blown. Tope told me it's really great because now he can hire talent in the most expensive places.
There are not a lot of product-led growth companies that have successfully scaled in Atlanta. So when you get into the hundreds of millions of you dealing, and you're new to business, there's just not that many people who've done it at scale in Atlanta. And so
just real quick, I thought that was interesting because when you think about hiring remote workers, you think about getting people in the cheapest, but he's saying he's getting people in the most expensive places because a lot of times they don't want to move to. If you're in New York, you might not want to move to Atlanta. Or if you're in in Europe, you might not want to move to New York. So getting people in high dollar places to actually work remote, that was actually a different, like you said, different thought processes when he brought that up. So
you need to go out to places like San Francisco to get those people to come to Atlanta. And the calculation that those people used to make before we became a remote first company is, I love Calendly, I'm bought into Calendly, but what if I move my entire life, my family to Atlanta, and for whatever reason work out, what other company in Atlanta work for? And so while Atlanta itself is not, it's a great city, they would love to be in Atlanta, the calculation they're making is if for whatever reason it doesn't work for me, where else can I work there? And that becomes difficult to convince people.
So you thought?
Oh, that's wild. I always think everybody wants to move to Atlanta. There's a lot of big companies there, but I need to check and see what the software is like. Software companies like that, because that's a good question. If I move to Atlanta to do software and I don't make it, where else can I work for? People could talk crap about North America all they want. Not perfect, but easy to start business in. Oh, facts. No, that's 100% true. That's not good because now developers competing with people in India where cost of living is cheaper. We should not to compete with them. That's a good point, JM, and we talk about that. But I think the world is flat, and that's one reason I do federal work, JM, because the Fed stuff you have to be in CONUS, which stands for Continental U.S. So, but there's an old book, "The World Is Flat." You are competing against people around the world. I used to go on Upworks and bid for work, for side work. And I used to do Oracle. You make a ton of money, Oracle. People in India was doing that stuff for $15 an hour, right? They were doing Oracle programming. So, Jam, that's a good point. You are starting to compete with people around the world. I just think it's something, I don't like it, but I think it's something we need to get used to because I think the world is flat. And most large companies have developers. Oracle's got 25,000 developers in India. I think IBM had 15. Microsoft, I think, had 10,000. So all the biggest companies, JM, they do have foreign coders and foreign infrastructure guys. Once again, that book's called "The World Is Flat." You are competing against talent around the world now.
Thought online calendars were solved? Think again. And you thought remote first was just for hiring talent outside of the tech hubs? Think again. I
love this so much for so many reasons. I mean, what you described is so great for innovation and productivity in the long run and for cities like Atlanta and being a startup anywhere and redistributing some of that across the country. But John, I've used Calendly a bunch. I love it. But Sam Lessin is totally right that if you do it in a condescending way, it can kind of come off a little harsh.
Yeah, the first time I used Calendly or clicked on somebody's Calendly link. This entrepreneur, Stephen Wolf Pereira, who we've had on, I think, Power Lunch in the Exchange before, had sent it to me. And I thought at first it was weird. I was like, wait, I click a link and I'm supposed to schedule myself. But then I realized I'm scheduling myself. This is great. Yeah. It's given me a lot of freedom.
And is there a pro version?
So you scheduling yourself and taking a whole lot of people. Like I said, the administrative assistant was hot in the 80s. That doesn't exist because, like you said, you're scheduling yourself. Shout out to Chaos Rain. Me and him definitely going to do something together soon. So go check him out. Let's see. The world is flat, JM. We got to talk about that on another stream. Yep. So yeah, I think I might do a stream on that. That book is probably 10 years old now, though, Hellman, ain't it? I love that book, but do you think there will be a big need for developers in the near future since machine learning will be able to automate software development? Yeah, I think it is because there's just a shortage of it. It's still a shortage of it. Especially from the United States, software developers, they're nerdy. We're not cool. That's really my first love. I love programming. I just make more money doing security. So yeah, I just think it's just a shortage, JM. So I don't think it's going anywhere soon. And there's always, I think the parts getting automated is the, we used to call it scaffolding, right? You can automatically insert to a database. You can automatically populate your objects. You can automatically build a flat screen before you put your CSS on it, right? You could do Wix until you need something complicated, right? So I just think it takes a lot of the low-level stuff out, JM, before it gets automated. So you still have to come up, like you said, Calendly is an idea, right? It's an idea with a workflow. All the other stuff underneath been done for 10 years. He put it together, right, to make it actually is a self-scheduling thing, right? That those tools have been out there a long time, and people forget. Windows made the first phone, but it sucked, right? Apple made the best phone. Then that was really what made the cell phone take off. So that's the way of life. Competition. Shout out to him. That's another reason why folks shouldn't pay attention to politics and influence legislation in their direction. I should pay attention to politics. No, that's true. That's true. But sometimes I think we get misinformation and disinformation of when is migration and people coming to the United States good and when is it bad? Work visa is good versus work visa is bad, right, Hillman? So there's a whole, like you said, political thing I think we need to be more aware of. And I'm pretty bad about that too. So, but once again, the world is flat. So I might do a book review on that, Hillman. What you think of that? It's an old book. I still like
you
it.
use. What are we all missing out on?
Yes, there is a paid version, and it allows you to kind of sync to your calendars and create different openings in your calendar for different types of appointments. I use it to schedule my Fort Knox interviews like that one with Tope. I was already using Calendly, but it was very convenient to schedule a time and we could have that hour-long
So fundamentally, it invites you to look at my calendar and schedule your session with me on your terms at a time you like. Don't other programs do fundamentally the same thing, like Outlook and others, or they just not do it as well? Or
yeah, but that only works if both of you are using Outlook and the same versions and kind of a shared calendar. This actually works across different types of calendaring apps, and it allows you more granularity in saying, here are the different times on different days where I want to schedule this type of call or this type of meeting. Here are days when I'm not available. There's a web interface. So he's gone deep into it, and I guess that's why, at least on paper, it's worth $3 billion.
It's really taken off across a lot of
I'm going to have to look it up.
He sound like me. I'm gonna have to look that up, right? The old guy a little late to the party, but like I said, I know. Shout out to Women in Linux. I know she's been doing Calendly for a minute, so I need to check it out. I should say should be educated on it. Yeah, there are always political games being put. Nah, facts. Let's see. You should do a show on that book. That's cool. I might start doing picking books. Weapons of Math Destruction. The World is Flat. There's a lot of books. So I think I'm gonna start doing book review videos. What you think about that? So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna start doing, picking out the book, because there's a lot of books. I'm real big on freedom of speech, mass surveillance. So there's a lot of books on that, how technology is bad about that. But let's wrap my man up with the Calendly right here.
We'll send you a Calendly for the next working
I'm
lunch.
going to Calendly my Peloton.
I don't know if it can respond.
It probably can't respond. Thanks, John.
John, thank you.
But now,
Before we were using Monday.com.
so let's look at hit the top real quick. That's my man Tope Awotona, worth 1.4 billion, basically on Calendly. Let's listen to the 1 minute one real short. I'll drop the link, see if anybody wants to come up. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna start doing. But then when I said to him, and I'm like, when I got time to read books, man, I've been laughing all day. So once again, worth 1.4. Let's get my man. I can't believe it's Tuesday.
The future of work is changing, but just because scheduling is inescapable doesn't mean it has to be inconvenient. There's a genius way to work better. Calendly brings schedules and people together, making finding a time effortless. Get set up instantly, connecting up to 6 calendars to automatically check available times. Create simple rules around your availability so your calendar books up the way you want without lifting a finger. Set buffer times, prevent last-minute bookings, and create customized events. Each event is fully flexible, no matter the type, allowing you to set preferences that grow with your team. When it's time to schedule the meeting, just share your link wherever your business lives, like email, your website, social media, or Slack. It integrates with your most common business apps, so as soon as an invitee selects a time, everything is automatically updated. Calendly helps you make the most out of every touch point, using intuitive workflows to continually build better relationships. Your team will feel empowered to focus on the things that really matter, because the future of work is not just about saving time, but connecting for success. Calendly, easy meetings ahead. Get started with your free trial today.
Jim, that's an excellent point. It seems like Calendly has a lot more features, some more user friendly, and maybe better. I don't. To be honest, I haven't used Calendly. Like I said, it's worth $3 billion, Jim. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. A lot of hidden gems out there in those books. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm end up doing. Shout out to Adrian Nash. She likes the idea of the book club, the professor's book club. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, because I've been, I don't know when I'm going to have time to do it. I've been wanting to read a little more. I miss reading. I used to read a lot when I was younger, so I think that's what I'm doing. I have a request once a month. Schedule a review session on cybersecurity of an app we all use to help us learn how to think differently. Oh, I like that, Calvin. I've been thinking. I did one a while ago with. I did one on what's the restaurant? I've done a few of those. I think I'll do that, Calvin. I like that recommendation. Shout out to him. He likes that. We can install a server home. Yeah, okay. I'm liking that. Yeah, bearded IT. Yeah, we cool. We subscribe to each other. Yeah, I appreciate that. He's been giving me a lot of love. He's one of Kev Tech's guys, and I'm one of Kev Tech's guys. So I think they've been giving me a shout out. Shout out to Kev Tech. He's always sending me a shout. I'm always in Kev Tech's Discord. He gave me a channel in in Kev Tech's I'm in Kev Tech's Discord. I got a sub channel in there. So I post and I answer questions in the sub channel, and I go through different other sub channels and answering questions in Kev Tech sub channels. I think he got what 29,000 subs. His number just went up, but no, shout out to him. So he's once again he's gracious to give me a sub channel. I was good. Did you see a lot of? I did not. I did not. It's weird because most kids now trunk or treat, so we don't let it give a lot. We don't get a lot of trick or treaters in my neighborhood like I used to get 10 years ago, which is cool. I'm kind of curmudgeon. The little candy I bought, I ate, so I ate it all up. So it wasn't a good. Yeah, so yeah, Beard. So yeah, we like I said, I'm subbed to him and he subbed to me, and we did a little correspondence back and forth for a minute on Kev Tech's LinkedIn. Kev Tech's got a huge LinkedIn, so he always gives me a shout out. So I need to start posting a little more on LinkedIn because I think that's really how Kev Tech grew his channel. So shout out to Kev Tech. So that's just Calendly. Once again, I want to talk about my man Tope Awotona. Build his business. Like I said, I thought it was a smaller vertical than it was, but obviously that was a pain point for some people. So, and it's hot. My man was talking about why he used it in the integration between that. So when you put it in there, it integrates to other calendaring system. I think he set up to 6. You can link and sync it up with Calendly. So it seems like I'm calling it a hub because I'm a hub, spoken hub between all the other calendaring programs. You could put it in that and push it out to other calendaring, right? He's the 1,975th richest person in the world. So shout out to him putting in work. So I just wanted to highlight him today. I think Helmet gave me him because I really wasn't even hip to him, to be honest. So I just wanted to highlight some different people. Shout out to my man Calvin. Give me some more work now. We need to get out these social media. Discord can spin up your own better service that they're all interconnected. Take back our now. No, that's a good point. That's a good point. This is how social media makes $1 billion because you don't pay for it. So they're actually taking your information and selling it to advertisers and using it. No, PBO ate his own candy, not the kids' candy. I bought it, so it's my candy. Shout out to Adrian Nash. Giving PBO a hard time. Yeah, PBO got to go on a diet in 2023, man. He got to get on his intermittent fasting and his keto. He got to get it back going on. But once again, let's see, I dropped the link. I'll drop it again. Just want to highlight that. I think Calvin Henderson had a great suggestion. Me reviewing known software out there. I've done a couple, so I probably once again need to make that a list on my channel. All right, so now I'm trying to get a few lists. That's now died in January 2023, like the rest of America. Come on, Calvin, me and the rest of America. Shout out to Miss B Finesse. I gotta reach out to her. We're gonna do some collabing on education. She's got an education channel, so go check her out. What's up, Chaos Rain?
Got the black. Good. I make sure my users.
Say that again.
No, I'm gonna echo.
Is that me or you? Oh, that's me. Hold on. Because I got to cut off my screen because anything on the screen I'm doubling back. Let me cut that off. Let me unshare it and reshare it.
All right.
Now again, cut down your echo.
All right. What's good, man? Just coming here, showing support, maybe getting feedback. I caught pretty much late to the stream. Let me see how long you've been streaming because there's so much content, bro. It's crazy. Oh, I'm like almost an hour into this. Ooh.
Yeah, you can.
That's the topic you're writing about the entrepreneur side of things. One question I ask you, Professor Ops, this cloud computing. Do you know what's the percentage of a lot of non-whites that's take it and try and learn to do cloud from percentage wise?
It's going to be small because I think foundational Black Americans is only 3% in IT itself, so it's probably at least half of that. So it's going to be a super small amount.
But I heard from one particular person that's said that it is growing.
Oh, exponentially, 100%. Yeah.
Because the same what happened. I think it was more designed to really test people being at home anyway. When everybody was
Yep.
at home 2 years ago. Cause think about
Yep.
this. They have so many things, disposed technologies and things that they does not use much, but with the given right opportunity, like what this was happening to us, and when I go to conspiracies, because that's not the point of this conversation, that it was a necessity that this is what they needed to push certain things faster. I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
I think outside America, I think most people outside America, like other countries, like other thriving nations that are tech industries, like call it, are using cloud computing.
Yeah. It's pushing. It started in America, but yeah, the reason why is their infrastructure is messed up, and now you can go off of satellites for internet connection. So that's really the way. People don't realize Facebook dominates micro payments in Europe and Africa. A lot of people do Facebook payments. If you go on Messenger, there's actually a payment button in there. That's usually actually done in Asian countries.
You have to
Yeah.
pay send message for Facebook.
Yeah, if you go on Messenger, there's a pay there's a pay button in there.
Oh my god!
Nobody sees it in the United States, but micropayments, when you go over there, it's cheaper to move money. So they're actually trying to be. People don't realize Facebook actually has a banking license outside of the United States. So they're trying to be critical infrastructure. They're slipping that in. A lot of people tease Facebook. A lot of times when you go to websites, they say, "Do you want to log in with your Facebook password?" Right. So they're doing it's called authentication and authorization. They want to be the password wallet for businesses, for small businesses, especially outside the United States.
Man, that's crazy, man. No wonder there's so much going down the tanker now after been around for 18 years. That's why they're trying to rush to hop on to this new thing, this VR thing, and push on that and try to commercialize that.
Oh,
think about it. A man that's making 40 or more. Could we talk about this last live stream? They're making roughly, 2-3 years ago, it's like 40 billion ad revenue alone, Facebook ads, right? I don't know if it went up or declined a bit because of other social media presence has been emerging, like TikTok and stuff. That a lot of people are just moving away from the app because it's not that fun, and not only because they got your data, but it's not really that fun like it used to.
Right. But so what people miss though is it's not cutting edge anymore, right? The kids are going to TikTok, but all the old people took their place, right? When your grandma won't go see pictures of your grandbabies, they can do it all that on Facebook because the kids don't want to follow them, right? So Facebook really got this mature market, and the old people want to spend their money. Young people cheap. So really, your biggest avatar, because the people buying business are old. The people buying big ticket items are old, right? So most of that, so big so those are done by old people, and they're the one that came and took the places of the kids. You got, my auntie she got that big ass phone. She be on there looking at her grandkids on Facebook, uploading pictures.
Yeah, because they're not really tech savvy,
right? But Facebook made it easier, so they're not hip and cool. But that's the advertisers really don't want the hip and cool people. If you're trying to sell Sears and you selling big jeans because PBO fat, you selling them to me. I ain't wearing no skinny jeans. So that's where the money at.
Shit. Real talk, man. I mean, but it really is supposed to target young people. Anyway, when I check my analytics, I don't know if you check the analytics on YouTube in your studio. I only hit around roughly in the 30-ish range. I don't get nobody under 30.
Yeah, that's how I was.
And I'm thinking, personally, is that a good or bad thing? Personally, because really, truly, I'm not saying what I say is not mature, but anybody that's a legal adult could listen to my content. But personally, I'm only hitting that range. I mean, you only go so far when you go for a certain age bracket with content. Personally, and not saying old people don't watch content, but it's not something you can really grow off in the long run. Just like Facebook, because the older they get, that they're not really in the eager to change or grow in a way. Some people might be set in their ways once they hit a certain age, just like old folks. If you have people that's like 60s, 50, or like even 60s, that if they're not up to certain things and they're not willing to learn, just to understand it, then you're stuck.
No, that's true. Shout out to Calvin Henderson. He's checking me. I thought that's what I said, but he helping me clarify. You do not pay for Facebook messengers. You can transfer money using Facebook Messenger. So if I didn't, I'm getting tired. If that didn't come out right, he's perfectly correct right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Chaos said it because he didn't say he was surprised that you could make payments in Facebook Messenger, but he's correct. So just helping me clarify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me read these a little bit. Notice that Facebook. Yep, a lot of people facts misspeak finesse. In my opinion, Meta's playing a long game. Oh, facts, super long game there, Helmet. Facebook tags every single device. Oh, facts. And now internet cookies, yeah, they track you all over the planet, man. They're actually doing more than that. When you actually use your phone, which most people do on Facebook, they actually buy your IP address from the phone companies so they can get the triangulation of your phone. So even if you're not in Facebook, even if your phone's off, it's still getting triangulated. So they're getting that data. They're paying for it from the phone company.
Well,
so they can map it back to you.
We can go deeper. We can go deeper. Did you know most apps, cell phones we have, besides iPhone, they always come with Facebook and you cannot remove the app?
I knew that, yeah, which is crazy.
So that tells you, I mean, they bought enough people that make the phones from Androids to have it stick on personally on it. And mind you, when I had an old phone, I had to download the app, and that app had so much size. I think it's almost like gigabytes.
Yeah.
So imagine now is part of majority Android phones. That's already using a chunk of the space already.
Yeah, because they pay them to make sure it stays on there. So that's one thing they do with all that money is they, like you said, they got all the carriers locked in to make sure their app is on their phone. So that's part of that payment. I think Congress was thinking about blocking them because they block a lot of other apps from getting on your phone too. So
well, they should be giving people the option, and that should not be the thing where Facebook should be the only one when you buy your phone. Any new phone is always come with it. I don't want that. I like to have the option to download it. Anything I don't want, I just undownload. Most of the time, I'll probably be on my computer mostly on Facebook now. And I know if I have to go on it, maybe to do things, but communicate, maybe watch. But really, truly, I don't use the app like I used to on the phone, like I used to.
No, I'm like you said, most of the time I'm just watching other people argue on Facebook or some stupid little thing. Like you said, I don't really use it. I usually like you said, voyeurism because you think it sounds bad, but I do it because I'm looking at other people or tracking other people or kind of seeing what you're going. Like you said, I don't really use it. I kind of use it as more of that's kind of the new TV for me, right? I'm looking at people, looking at a couple skits, maybe shoot a couple messengers out. But like you said, I don't really use it like that.
Yeah. So many people who died in January 2023 and within 3 weeks. Well, there's many reasons why. That's like a New Year's resolution. What they call it? When people want to do something. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really too fond of New Year resolutions. Resolutions, what you want to call it, anyway, because more than half of the time you're not gonna stick by it. So
it's more than half. Yeah, it's like 75%, but keep going. It's a high number.
But it lets you know that people don't plan nothing anyway. If you're not accustomed to planning anything, it's not a smart thing. So you're gonna do this beginning of the following year. It's nonsense.
No, that's true.
Not saying you should plan, but I tell people you shouldn't wait till the beginning of the next year to say I'm gonna do this and this is what my plan.
No.
If you're not accustomed to fulfilling simple obligations on your regular basis, you should not be setting bigger goals starting next year, beginning of the new year.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Calvin, I think you're gonna get the 10 millisecond when 5G becomes prevalent. I think that's when you're gonna get the low latency you're gonna need from VR. I kind of live in this weird area. We got 5G poles all over, so.
But has not been used yet. Has been used yet?
Yeah, mine is. But like you said, I'm kind of in this real hip area, so they dig in the new fiber cable, so it's coming to your house and all that. Man, just buy one coming up. Yeah, facts on that helmet.
Yeah, we need 5G fiber cables over here too. Yeah, we need that. I can't deal with the internet here. I could barely stream now off other applications by StreamYard.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Unless I got paid money to stream. I don't like paying streaming at this time. Just me. I'm not being cheap, but I just don't like spending money on streaming, bro.
No, I feel you. Like I said, I try to update a little bit. A lot of people seem like they were instead of having problems with StreamYard, so I try to restream and get a higher level bandwidth to try to.
The only thing I was kind of glad that it did not go through a couple years back when they were trying net neutrality. And
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, why would you implement that where majority of people now are using internet and they're not going to spend more than they already have, especially if the economy goes bad? The last thing people are going to do is have to make a decision. And really, it didn't make sense on paper, because think about it. People are mostly at home now, working, maybe streaming. You need as much high quality of bandwidth to bounce back and forth with information as possible to get simple tasks done. And if you limit it to me and say I got to pay more for more speed, it's crazy,
No, true.
Let's see. Thank you, Facebook, for your cell phone company watching you more closely than ever. God damn it.
Yeah. So there you go, right there, Calvin. You can Google that one. Facebook's been working with the phone companies to get that extra information. I want to say probably 5 or 6 years. So they getting your IP address to match them up because they know what your IP because their apps on it. So they want to get full in the end communication of what you're doing, really, right? So. Can you remove Facebook? Probably, Helmet. I just think it's going to end up getting pushed back on if you remove it off, but facts. Checking on your relatives, JL. Like the good Mark Fire, true. Oh yeah, facts. Because that's how they be matching them up. The weird thing is, I work in a 10-story building for a state agency. Facebook sent me a message one time and asked me, did I want to ask questions for a government agency that I was on the 3rd floor working for? I'm like, man, it knows what floor I'm on.
Wow.
So that I'm still trying to figure that one out. I got to do a little digging on that. Just getting us spicy in there. So Facebook doing the most. Fine, it would be great for a car, but we need fiber. Facts on the fiber to the home. Had a fiber internet for 2005. Facts. I had DSL forever. It's all good, man. F the Facebooks for speed. So, but no, thanks. So, but yeah, chaos. It's just, and I'm gonna start talking about that mass surveillance. How Facebook makes money by tracking you. There was actually, I was gonna do it. Especially since your boy passed away. Somebody actually got deleted in a gas station. They went back and looked at the video to get the timestamp. They got everybody's phone number within a quarter of a mile and tracked them down, right? And I think we talked about, so if you happen to be there getting gas, the police got your number in there and they doing research on all the stuff of where your phone was going and where you lived at, right? Because you were in investigation because they call it geofencing. This was like, okay, this here, we want everybody's phone numbers within the quarter. My thing is, why would you commit a crime with your phone in your back pocket, right? So that's something else, though. Most people don't be thinking. So.
That's crazy, man. People
just facts with that, Calvin. Go ahead, Chaos.
That's crazy. They give all their information just like that. And remember, the phone's like tracking device anyway, so you can't turn it off.
I always laugh. Yeah, because I was joking with people because you've been to know everybody was so mad about the CVE it had tracking stuff in, and I'm like, dude, I'm not conspiracy. I'm not telling you get the shot, but I'm like, you ain't putting your damn phone down. They don't need to put something in the damn shot. You take your phone to the bathroom.
I don't. You can't kill you. You can't give logic to people nowadays. Say, don't get me wrong. The shot will do something too, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is this: you're being monitored anyway. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said. I said that's a separate comment. Until you put your phone down, we need to add something else to that. Now we can talk like you said. Is it an experiment? You don't like it? You think it's invasion of your privacy? Because you think all that's valid, but don't talk about this tracking you. You don't put your phone down. So we're gonna talk about something else for tracking you. So Meta stock is pretty good now on the buy. I think Meta's gonna go down a little bit, Helmet, because they've been getting beat up on the shout out to Calvin, the metaverse VR. They're pouring so many billions in it right now, it's hurting their profits a little bit. But by the way, this is not financial advice, medical advice, or emotional advice. It's just me up here rambling. Hey man, logic is not required for people. Facts, Calvin. Facts. They said the shot turns you into a magnet. Yeah, man, I'm not out of it. But nah, I'm gonna give you the last word, Chaos. My old ass gotta go to bed, man.
No, that's it. That's it. I just came up here to chop it up with you. It's coming.
I'm glad you came.
You're gonna look out for the email. All right, but take care, everybody.
Definitely. We're definitely team up and do a collab. No problem. Shout out to Miss B Finesse. I'm coming her way too. So, have you ever auto attack where you can create a fake cell phone? Yeah, I've heard that. If you go look up Pineapple for cell phones is open source under Kali Linux has got that built in. Jay, I might bring that up. I used to teach Kali Linux when I was a professor. Kali Linux Pineapple. I think it's Pineapple. Yeah, Pineapple. I think that was to track the cell phone. How to Pineapple. Yep, it was I think it's the Pineapple Jam. Kali Linux for free. You do the Pineapple. It's award-winning Star Micro. I did Kali Linux download it. I think that's what you use. Like it would be a fake thing for you to hook up your laptop to. I think that's it, JM. Yeah, that was over $200 last year. Lord, that is a good thing in my opinion. Long term, I think it's definitely the way. Turn on the cameras, man. So, facts. Forever talk about YubiKeys. Oh yeah, I've talked about YubiKeys a couple of times. I was talking about MFA. Actually, I'm going to do a video instead of 2-factor. They want to do 3-factor, so they want to use your phone and YubiKeys, Helmet. So you'll see that coming out. I've been typing my DBAs and my essays. As far as federal compliance, I've been trying to get them to go through 3 factors. They told me to pound sand. I want to go 3 factors. It's not a requirement by the feds, but I think at the top we should go 3 factors. So you would use your phone, YubiKey, and a password. So definitely, I'm a big fan of the YubiKeys. Especially Stingray's a fake sound phone. Poo use those facts on the Stingray. Well, I'm shutting it down. I got to get up, go to a little work in the morning. Cool thing is I just got to roll out of bed, brush my teeth, start typing because I work from home. Appreciate come checking me out. I think this is going to be my normal time, so we'll talk about some. Shout out to, I appreciate that. Gabe, I got to figure out why I can't see your regular account. I got that for a couple people. Gabe chipping in on the future barbecue. We're going to make that happen. Shout out to him. I got to interview him on the channel. I always enjoy that. But we just talking about my man Tope Awotona trying to get that $1.4 billion. I would never thought you could get that off of internet calendaring program, to be honest. Obviously, it grew into a lot more than that, right? That was the initial. So I'm out. Thanks to Gabe. I'm gonna tell everybody go check out the replay. Shout out to Calvin. I think I'm gonna start picking some widely used programs that we use and just do a security review. See if I can just kind of walk through what we look for from a cybersecurity perspective. Both from, I always call it the management side versus the technical side. Is it open source? Do you have paid support? Are you using encryption? Is your encryption being validated by the U.S. government, meaning it's done correctly? So that's probably another series I probably add to mine. And I think I'm gonna start doing a book review. I kind of, which I don't know where I'm gonna have time to start doing. I love The World is Flat. I love Weapons of Math Destructions. How machine learning and data elements can be used wrongly by companies and the government, a la digital redlining. If you're in the wrong spot, you might not be able to get a loan, right? Because you're in the wrong part of the city, right? So shout out to Miss B Finesse. Once again, we're gonna collab on education. So once again, old people like me about to go to sleep. Shout out to Struggle Security. He got in on to donating for next Sunday's barbecue. Shout out to him. I appreciate it. We'll check out the replay. Everybody have a good night. What is today? Tomorrow's hump day. Man, I'm fine. Tomorrow's hump day. I need to take a vacation. My days are running together. Tomorrow's hump day. Let's get it. So much technology out there. So many ways to get it. We see my man here worth the $1.4 billion. So let's just shout out to Helmet. Weapons of mass destruction, how data increase in quality and threaten democracy. Yeah, so I really definitely on my list. So I'll probably do that. I'll probably give y'all a little Amazon link so I can add that to the barbecue if y'all wanted to buy the book. So we can go over it together. Y'all can just have me go over it. I might do because most of those chapters are pretty big, or do a chapter and make it like an hour long and just kind of walk through that. Because I think people miss that the bad part about artificial intelligence, machine learning. What does that look like if it's done wrong? And how do we make sure it's done right? Once again, Professor Black Ops, I'm exhausted. Everybody have a great day. Let's get that hump day tomorrow. I appreciate that, Helmet. I think that's going to be my plan. But once again, check it out. I'll be labbing all tomorrow. I'll be in my AWS labbing. So we're going to do AWSQ Sunday at 3. That's going to be the hour we're going to break down. I usually try to break down some part of AWS because I'm learning, getting my search so I can get my bag. Everybody have a good night. Talk to you later.